Right. Let me share screen. Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, thanks.
It's actually a nice segue from what Briscoe has presented, where he says, hey, this is it's a nice fantasy to have all teams. Well, you can. That is the good news. So it's like a natural progression for us to continuing from CB's tools to the personas which are interacting with each other. And I've done a little bit, built a framework for building these agents. So I have taken Hannes's Dr. Innovation prompt, the super prompt, and build agent framework, which would run through this, right? It's the way it is designed, you can actually put any personas. For example, you can put Briscoe, CEO, and Sumi, and all. And it will still work the same way, mostly, but there with some extensions. Okay. So this is, I mean, Hannes has already gone through this, but basically, I've taken for completion's sake, these are the personas that Dr. Innovation runs on, the innovation team, where the Dr. Innovation is the moderator. He's like a special kind of a persona who goads others to come to a solution, and each one has got their own personalities. And a special one called as a technical report writer, which is not open. Hannes had kindly shared it with me. So this one basically, earlier Dr. Innovation will only give you the minutes of the meeting and one long transcript. It becomes very, very hard to go through transcript and try to find out what is the end result. But people just want the end result, right? They just want to see, I gave you a topic, I just want a report. And the technical report writer is the one that brings out things. Just to step back, why agents, right? Why not use ChatGPT itself? So I'll just start up the demo. It takes some time to run. But while it is running, I'll go through why innovation is hard, what is the evolution for these things that's going on, right? From Google to ChatGPT to IA to what is the future? What is the future trends and where these are going to lead? And after hearing Briscoe and CB and all, I see that we have to move toward from tools to solutions, right? So people are not. AI should disappear. It should not be saying AI. It should just do the work that you want it to do, right? So this is what I call as Hannes's hello world, or Innovation Algebra's hello world problem. It's like design an underwater habitat for 100 people at 60 feet. Focus on them. And I think it's a good topic for Hello World because most people would not know what to do about these things. Most of us are not experts at underwater habitats, what the issues are. So what I've taken is super prompt and split up into agents. So you basically have, all of them are agents. So all of the things that I've written, put in here, personas are all agents. Okay. They're all agents. So let me go and start it off and then go on. So basically, you have it. One of the things that you cannot do in ChatGPT, or maybe you can, is you cannot increase the creativity of it, right? Because it's controlled by a parameter called temperature, which is here. I don't know what is the default setting for ChatGPT to the temperature value, but if you use the API and code, you can access it. So 0 is deterministic, 0.9, on the scale, it goes towards becoming more creative, right? Or giving you surprising things, right? So 2 is the limit of it, right? So 0.9 is sort of the midpoint that we think. So basically, this is it. So I start off, it starts generating the Brainsimming. So now all the agents are talking to each other, okay? Which was all in a single prompt. So there are certain constraints in it. As the prompts become more complex and longer, you'll reach constraints. And this idea of autonomous Brainsimming is to scale without constraints, right? To scale innovation without constraints. So there's a lot to be, there's some considerations here. It's not totally perfect. These are pretty long-winded because of the way we have designed the conversations to happen, which will be fixed in future versions. This is in active development. With Hannes's help and prompt refinement about what it is doing, we can improve it. So let it run. It take some time, maybe a couple of minutes. Let me go back to my slide in the meantime about, which is more important other than the innovation demo and the agentic. Why do we need agents? First of all, why is innovation hard, right? We all know that the knowledge frontier is expanding rapidly, and not only that there's constant change, the rate of new knowledge coming to us is at a fast pace. It's very hard to keep up with it, right? And there's constraints in assembling a team, right? You might not find the right expert. Their cost might be too high. I might not get the diversity of opinion that I am seeking for. I might have a dearth of expertise. Or if I want to run an innovation team at 11 p.m. in my night, or I'm at the time when my team is not available, right? So these are all frictions. These are all stopping you from doing innovation. That's why it's hard. And also there's a chasm between idea to proof of value, right? So this is having done a couple of startups and been in doing product development, been in product for like almost 25 years. This is the critical part. This is where what I call as the ICU, right? The neonatal ICU. An idea is like a small baby with lots of issues. And to get the proof of value, you have to navigate through a bunch of things. And by the time you do all of these things, you spend a lot of time, money, and you do it, you can only do one idea at a time. This allows you to innovation, and what if you can do this very frequently at low cost, at any time, and be able to keep improving, right? So that's why, innovation algebra is the solution for it. So I just wanted to give a history of, why is Google not enough? I don't want to read through the slide, but it'll be there. I know we had to go from, the basic idea is you have to go from information to decision support. I need to be able to take decisions or able to fulfill my use case rather than just throwing me a bunch of information to it, right? ChatGPT, when it came and why it was such a hit is because it was novelty, it was new, people could talk to it in a natural language, it could summarize things, it could do a lot of things which was not possible earlier, but it's got some issues. It's constrained by the prompt, right? And LLMs are designed for general purpose, right? It's a general purpose tool. It won't fit my domain. Like Briscoe saying, I don't care about what you're doing in the world or how much you know. I want it for my domain, right? Which is a particular business use case. Anybody developing a product for a particular use case rather than talking about generative AI or ChatGPT, using ChatGPT as a toy or as a tool, would know that, I'm running a business or I have a particular thing that I need to use. I want it to do that particular task. I don't care about your general purpose ability, right? So I still feel ChatGPT is still a tool, not a solution. And people soon get weary of ChatGPT, it's not doing what it is. And this is when I reconnected back to Hannes after almost 10 years, I think, we were talking, I said, this is a fantastic idea. This is a innovation algebra. Initially, I did not get it. But then after speaking to Hannes and going through the site, I said, this is a huge evolutionary jump, right? In the right direction. We are moving in the right direction. And like I said, and in the initial chart that Hannes has shown, the pace of change is very fast. And seeing the kind of people that are interested here, it's moving very fast. So the next idea, the evolutionary jump is GPT frameworks, which Innovation Algebra is doing. Super prompts is a game changer. Personas are a game changer. But what I saw is, there are certain constraints. Super prompts are great. This is the engine that drives most of it. And that is like the heart of the things. But that's why you need a guru mode. You need a lot of education. You need to train people to do things, right? But it's not scalable also, right? You're constrained by the GPT limits, right? Usage of GPT. Right? So, for example, I have, just a side aside, finish the sim. It is, I just want to show you, then go back to the presentation. So it went in, look at this. It is designed, it is not only has given a minutes of report, it is designed a technical report with introduction, methodology, key findings for the specific thing, and the conclusion. So this is more useful. And to make it really more useful, what I've done is basically this is done in Streamlit. I can download this, right? So I can download it as a zip, and I can get, basically right now I'm getting like a report, right? If we open out the zip, I get a report. There, done. Right? This is what people can read either the report or they can go back to the actual transcript and see the whole transcript. Right? Okay. So that is the demo part. Let me go back to the slide. Okay. So now that that is like, how is all this working, right? How was all those things working? And there was no ChatGPT window, there was no continue, there's no self-prompting. So it's basically agents are talking to each other, right? So these are all autonomous agents. They have I built a framework which will take in all these profiles of personas of this Dr. Innovations team, and they talk I have implemented in a round robin fashion of speaking, but in code wise, I can give it any function for it to select the next speaker, and it will do it. Anything that you can write an algorithm for to speak, it will do it. So what is the future? What else can we do with it? Going forward is like, you can do agents versus users, agents with autonomy, right? There is some reason and act framework. 1 second, my battery is running down. So there's a reason and act frameworks which are there, which can be used. And there are, especially LangChain, we can use agents with tools, right? These tools could be able doing right now you can have tools for Google search, can go search your databases. It can search any, or searching is one use case. Whatever you can think of, you can write a tool for it, right? You could probably write a tool for generating a blog. Go do this and generate this blog for me, right? Make me a WordPress page for me. It can do it. Especially with things like, we can also have computational agents. Like, we have plugins in ChatGPT for Wolfram Alpha, where you can do math problems. It can be used something called as program-aided language models, PAL models. And in the end, what you can do, and there are things in place right now which are called as societal agents, right? Where you can have a bunch of agents talking to each other and coming up with some agency to create value, right? So think in terms of like an ant colony, how so each agent doesn't have to be smart, fully smart. They can be niche, they can be specific, and there is no limit to the number of agents I can run. And so once you build the framework, it's just compute, right? And it's just okay, with ChatGPT, you have some rate limits. For example, if I run my Dr. Innovation with ChatGPT 4, I run into rate limits, API rate limits. But what if I have Llama 2 on my own server? I have no rate limits, right? So we can go ahead and do it. So my 2 cents to this is to push innovation algebra further down the line and to make it, people to use it without knowing anything about innovation algebra or super prompts or ChatGPT or nothing, is to have an agent first approach. We are talking now about AI first approach. We have to move towards agent first approach. AI should disappear. For example, I have specialized agents, right? I have general agents and I have a technical report writer agent. I have a director agent that moderates the agents. Tools and toolkits are the next frontier. It is only limited by our imagination and what we can create as tools. And then there is meta agent frameworks. There is a meta agent framework which manages the agents. All right. So agents on top of agents. So this is like the reason why I think this is, and I've seen this earlier in my work when I was in MySpace doing network effects and things in my earlier. Most value is created by a second order and third order interactions, right? It's called emergent behavior, right? It's emergent behavior. So what is unique or what is innovative is what comes through second and third order emergent behavior. What we are seeing in ChatGPT now is first order, maybe to a certain extent, with super prompts to a second order kind of emergent behavior. But the real novelty and innovation comes from the more they interact and the more they feed off each other and the more they are forced to come up with new things. Putting in an environment, you'll be surprised how agent societies come up with things. There is a framework called Camel, which has come up with the agent society concept, where they have run a village with agents and they're dating each other. They go for Valentine's Day parties. They go for each other's homes. It's like a total society, and it's emergent behavior. Nobody has programmed them to do it, right? So that is my key point here is agent-based frameworks to run the super prompts of IA so that we go from tools, super prompts to solutions, and where AI disappears and only the business value and the value creation emerges out of these things. For example, the idea of, hey, this is too shallow. I don't want general information. I want an expert information can only happen at a higher order level of interactions. And actually, thanks to Hannes Innovation Algebra for making this jump possible. Otherwise, I would never have made this jump without having this intermediary evolutionary step of super prompts and the work that Hannes has done. So thank you, Hannes. So a little about me. I have founded 2 companies which are alive today. I've founded other companies which are no longer exist. So one is a consulting company, other is a fintech company based on advanced machine learning for financial timesheets. So there is a Google Forms here. If someone is interested in, making agents and agent frameworks for your specific domain, is something I would like to see more use cases about things. We can't build a general purpose framework. We need to be a little bit specific. For example, this is based on Dr. Innovation because Dr. Innovation was a moderator. So I have a director agent. There could be other places where it could only be all of them talking to each other without any director. So there are multiple buckets of things that you can do, right? So that's it from me. I will stop share. I am open for questions.
Hey, Sai,
Or-
thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's also cool to connect with you after so many years. We actually worked together for a while,
Yeah.
designing software and stuff at Autodesk. So, and, thanks for the praise, but I also want to pass that on to a lot of other people that help on this project, right? It's really, a lot of people have discovered like little bits of the whole thing. And if we put it all together, it's sort of just, I don't know, it's even hard to explain how it all happened. And,
Right.
and funny enough, AI is playing a massive role in creating these new prompts, right? I don't know.
Yes.
That's actually the idea of meta prompting. So the prompts are actually creating other prompts is very fundamental to a lot of advances. The AIs are really improving themselves. And this is actually one of the things I would like to do in the future is to have a workshop on meta prompting. Of course, this, for the really pros, and see how that works. So
That's where you can go from your meta prompting to meta agent.
yeah,
framework.
agents writing prompts, right? It's going to be a weird world.